So, as some of you may know, if you've seen my sneak peeks, our great video, like the 8 of you that did, or if you've been just keeping up with the channel, you'll know that I have been recently tinkering around with True King Dinosaur. And I have to say that this is probably right up there with Fluffles, one of my favorite decks of all time. It's a lot of fun, the combos aren't too complicated, it's just really just a lot of fun to play. Especially against even, like, it can go toe-to-toe with the meta, even. And it's just really, it's really good, like, but it's not broken to the point where Konami has the need to, like, ban stuff in it. But, I mean, they brought Miscellaneous Source to 3, so it was inevitable that this deck was going to try to make a comeback, especially with Ignimazud. The reason that it wasn't around before is because with one Miscellaneous Source, Ignimazud hardly had any targets, but now with 3, you have plenty of targets for him. In fact, I believe there are 12 fires in total in the deck, maybe 11. Like, if not, that's including the Ignimazud, so it's about 8 without him. Maybe 9, I don't know. But I just want to really make a deck profile on this, because I do deck profiles of decks that top in my locals, and this topped week before last. I was going to make this video sooner, but, procrastination exists, my battery needed to be charged on my camera, etc., etc. There's a bunch of things that came up, but I don't want to keep you guys waiting anymore. Let's get into the deck profile. So, to start off, we have, with level 4s, 3 Soul Eating Oviraptor. This is pretty standard for any dinosaur deck. It's better Armageddon Knight. Now, if you give me a second, I just gotta check my... Okay, I was just checking my camera to make sure that y'all can see that well, because I don't want it to look bad. So, 3 Oviraptor, because better Armageddon Knight. No reason to play any less than 3. 3 Miscellaneous Source, because he's at 3 now. Love this card. Makes him unaffected. Lets you summon if you banish from grave. And the banishment effect works wonders with Giant Rex, because Giant Rex is Giant Rex. Most broken card in the game right here, people. It's funny when you're playing against someone that used Trickster Reincarnation, because they banish your hand, and like if you had 4 of the dinos in hand, if he's 5, he can be 3k. The way you can get rid of him is like with a Pankratops or something. And that's all for the level 4s. Now we get to the big boys. We got 2 Tyranno, pretty standard. Tyranno's godly. I call him Big Daddy T-Rex, because he fucks people over with his 12-foot schlong. 2 Oviraptor. I've seen people cut this down to 1, and that's just wrong, in my opinion. Like, you don't have to, like, follow my opinion, but I just don't think that's correct. Because Coatlas, you can actually summon him with ease now, if you use Miscellaneous Source effect, and then you summon a Tyranno after that. Because then you'll have 5 banished, you can shuffle them back, summon a Coatlas, and in some cases you'll have a Giant Rex to pop with either Tyranno or Coatlas' effect. And also, if you draw the 1, it's like drawing Garnet. It's bad because you can't even use its effect. And, yeah, you don't want to have only 1 at your disposal. And then we got the Saki 1-ofs. We got 1 Dogoron because I added him back in from the side since we needed to get this to 48 cards. And 1 Pankratops because he's searchable removal. And he's really good against a lot of decks, especially stuff like Sky Striker. And also against other random stuff, because, Orchist can't Fog Blade it because he can just chain his effect. And that's it for the big guys. Now we get on to the best part of the deck. The reason why it's so good. The babies! Ah, yes. Abuse the babies deck is what I like to call this. So we got the 3 Baby Ceratosaurus and the 1 Petite Pteranodon. You don't play 2 Petite Pteranodon, honestly, because you can just search it so easily. And also, Petite Pteranodon is not as good as Baby Ceratosaurus. And if you draw into, like, Petite Pteranodon too much when you need a Baby Ceratosaurus, especially if you draw into your Aolo, that's what really sucks, then you're not going to be able to make your plays as easily. I mean, you could add a second one, but I probably won't do that until Lithosagym comes back. Petition to unban Lithosagym, please, Konami. And then we got the 1 new Dino Wrestler from Dark Neostorm, Dino Wrestler Coelhosalat. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce his name, Coelhosalat. But he's just a free level 2 tuner you can use to make Nat Beast with Chosen by the Will Chalice by changing his attribute with Calamities. And so, if you're going against Striker, you play that, but if you're going against a deck that doesn't really use many spells, like Altergeist, you can honestly probably just cut it and Chosen for the side deck. And then you got the 1 Aolo, one of the biggest garnets in the deck. But I mean, it's not terrible if you draw on, like, especially if you draw into something, like, if you draw into the combo, but you also draw into Aolo, it's not absolute shit, because you can just normal summon the Aolo instead of normal summoning a baby. Because it doesn't really affect the combo too differently. And then, that's it for the babies. Took like a week for my Aolo to show up, it sucked. But, you know, because I was playing without an Aolo, I was playing with Glow Bulb instead. But, you know, it just sucked, but it was whatever. On to the True Kings and the other level 9s. We got the 3 Ignimazud, and I play 1 Barastos, mostly just to get it to 48 cards, but, you know, if we had this guy back, just imagine him in there instead, because, you know, he's 10 times better. But mostly Barastos is there as a last resort in case you can't do anything but make a Calamities. Sitting on a Calamities is usually fine, depending on your matchup. Like, if you're going against Salamangreat, sitting on a Calamities is perfectly fine, just declare fire. But he's also there because, you know, like I said, 48 cards, you can pop it with, like, something like a Diagram or with an Ignimazud, and get its effect to summon another Ignimazud. And then you can make a Calamities out of him, but, you know, that's about it. And we got the World Legacy Guard Dragon Mardark for the Guard Dragons, and then we have our World Legacy Monstrosity targets, Longhorn and Deus Ex Crawler. I don't have Idli or Thunder King, but if you do have both of those cards, please pretend this is an Idli, this is a Thunder King. Because this is just my budget alternatives. I've had this since I was, like, in 4th grade, and then I've just got, like, so many of these from Dark Neostorm, it's not even funny. And then that's it for the level 9s. Now we get to the other random monsters, the Ib targets. 1 chosen by the World Chalice, 1 World Chalice Guard Dragon. Both you can summon off of Ib. You can use this for the Guard Dragon plays, this for Nat Beast. Yeah, it sucks when you draw into either one of them, but it sucks even more if you draw into both. But, I mean, it's not terrible if you draw into one, because you can just summon the other. But this is usually what you'll go for instead of this, because unless you're going against Striker, this is not a preferable alternative to this, because this gets you an Abyss, and Abyss is really good. And then 2 hand traps, just 2 Ash. I wouldn't even play 3 Ash if I had a 3rd one. Like, 2 Ash is just fine. Like, it's not the end of the world if you don't see it. And that's it for the monsters. We have 30 monsters in the deck if you include the Ashos. Now on to the 18 spells. So we got 3 Diagram, 1 Lost World, 2 Terraforming, and 1 Set Rotation. This is the standard combo when it comes to field spells. At first, I only played 3 Diagram, 2 Terraforming, and I was like, the Lost World sucks, you're giving your opponent free link material. But I mean, it's good against stuff like Striker, and also if your opponent targets a bunch of stuff. And also, Set Rotation is an amazing card. 10 out of 10, very OP. Konami should bring it back to 3. No, I'm just kidding. They should definitely not bring it back to 3, because that would just be a bit too busted. Once again, I'm checking my camera to make sure y'all can see all this, because, like I said, it would suck if you can't see it. But Set Rotation is really good. You can give your opponent Lost Roll, especially if they're playing something like Orcust, you can get rid of their Babble. If they're playing Mystic Mine, you can get rid of the Mystic Mine. It's just it's really fun. And see, they can't even use Metaverse or anything if you give them a Lost World, because then you can't activate another field spell as long as either one of them is face down. And you can use Set Rotation on your opponent's turn, and give yourself a Diagram, give them a Lost World. They can't activate any new field spells, and then you go to your turn, you can activate your Diagram, and then you can make your plays. And that does it for the field spells. Now we got 3 Fossil Dig, because this is better Rhoda, and then we have 2 Double Evolution Pill. I love Double Evolution Pill. 3 is not necessary though, you'll brick too much with it, because it's a hard once per turn. And I like to match the number to the amount of Coatluses I have, so that's always nice. And we have 3 Called by the Grave, because when you get your combo stopped, it really sucks. I hardly draw into this though, or if I do, I draw into too many, and then I brick. But, you know, it's always nice to have disruptions to, like, stop your opponent from hand-trapping you. If you draw into multiples and your opponent doesn't have multiple hand traps, you can just set them face down, especially if you're going against Orcust. And you got World Legacy Monstrosity, probably one of the most broken cards in the entire deck. I have no clue why Konami printed this card at all. It's 2 free level 9s from your deck. Like, that's just really nuts. And then we have 1 Upstart and 1 Foolish. This was to get it to 48, and I think this was not only because it's good in Dinos, but also to get to 48. because, you know, I kind of needed to get it to 48. And that does it for the main deck. We got 48 cards, obviously, as I've said like 20 times now, because if you play any less than that, like, or if you, yeah, any less than 48 or 50, then you're just gonna brick a lot with all your combo pieces that you don't want to draw. But now onto the extra. We have one Guard Dragon LP and one Agar Pain, along with a Heavenly Spheres for the Guard Dragons, and then also for the Guard Dragon plays we have a Triple Burst. This is what you use for your Lanfarincus and your Giant Rex. I might do some combos after this, I don't know. But we are going to, like, what you do is you use LP, you link Lanfarincus and Giant Rex into this, above LP, Mardark, link, Agar Pain, summon the Abyss. Might as well actually get the Abyss out of the way too. We got the Abyss for the Guard Dragons as well. I'll just lump them all together in terms of, you know, what they're supposed to do. And then we got, for the rest of the links, we got a Lanfarincus, because I don't have Beat Cop. I mean, Beat Cop's probably better because it's an effect monster, so you can make Borreload. But this, it's not like Triple Burst requires effect monsters, so Lanfarincus is fine for now. And then Nightmare Phoenix, because it's the best of the Nightmares. And then Borreload, because it's Borreload. I played Saryuja, but I have Cherry's targets instead now, so. Also, I never made the Saryuja. It was just kind of pointless. It just took up valuable space. And then for the Xyz, I used to have like 4 or 5, but like I said, Cherry's targets, so. I got one Logia because it's better than Dolka, and also I couldn't find a Dolka even if I wanted to, but I like Logia better because it negates summons or spells and traps. And then Calamities, because Calamities is really busted. And you stop your opponent from doing anything unless they're playing Striker. Onto the Synchros, we got Ib, replacement Danglong. Danglong's never coming off the list in my opinion. Like, at least over here, I know he's at 3 over in Japan, but that's because Diagram is banned. And we got Nat Beast as well, because if you're going at Striker, it kind of sucks if they Widow Anchor all your stuff, so you make Nat Beast instead of the Guard Dragons. And then, like I said, we have Cherry's targets for the last 3 cards. We have Blue Bitch, because why would you hit Kagari when they only have 1 anyway? Sunlight Wolf, because Salamangreat is kind of a tough matchup for this deck if they go first. And then Galatea, because Galatea is honestly a better target than Mermaid. Like, see, they always say Cherry is the Mermaid, or like hit the Mermaid if you have something that can hit it. But I think hitting the Galatea is a lot better, because yeah, the Mermaid helps you get the Galatea, but if you don't have the Galatea in the first place, Mermaid's also already useless. And Galatea is used for most of their combos, and unless they have like a third material along with the Mermaid and the Nightmare, then they have, like, to make a long Girsu, then they're kind of fucked. And that does it for the extra. I'll go into the side now that's in here. I gotta get it out. My side is really weird because there's some stuff that I wish I had more of, but I don't. So, I have 1 Twin Twisters, play 3 please, back row removal so great. And then 1 Kaiju Slumber, also play 3 because at 3 now, and more disruption stuff is great. I have 2, most of my hand traps are in here by the way. I have 2 Effect Veiler, just in case you need a Veiler, and then 2 Ghost Ogre, in case you need a Ghost Ogre. Yeah, I don't have a secret, look at me, I'm a scrub. And then I have the 3 Cherries. Oh wow, look at me, I got 2 Ultras and a secret, wow. It's really just because I couldn't find a 3rd Ultra, but honestly I'd rather have secrets because I like secret better than Ultra. But the Cherries are actually really good if you're forced to go second, so that's what that's for. And then 2 of the new Beat Raptor card. I was gonna main this to make the card 50, make the deck 50 because it's a good target. You can summon off a Baby Ceratosaurus during your opponent's turn if you pop it with like a Tyranno, and then you can just get this out. But I mean, it's not really necessary in the main, but 2 is the best amount to play if you're playing it in the main or the side because of its Destroy by Battle effect. And also it's got a nice 2k body, you can sit on it in defense mode. But I think DINO players should really start looking into this card. Sorry, I keep burping. I just chugged a 7-Up, so. We have 2 Artifact Lancia, because Thunder Dragon can be a pretty tough matchup when you're going second, because unless you have a Tyranno, and a way to like cheese them out immediately to get rid of the Colossus and all the other stuff they have, then you're kind of boned because you can't do your combos because you can't use Diagram or Oviraptor or anything like that. And then we have the Slumber Targets, we have the Chizukuru and the Gamma Seal, because, you know, I don't have Kumungus, I play Chizukuru. Chizukuru was actually like my first kaiju, by the way, if you didn't know that. And I got it out of like my Kaiba tin, I don't know. But anyways, that's going to do it for the deck profile, and you know what? I think I'm going to do some combos, so let me just power shuffle real quick. I have to turn my mat around as well, because there is no way I can actually have my camera from behind, because, you know, I'm kind of just sitting in a chair. And my tripod will not be able to reach that high. Actually, will it? I don't know. One second. I'm gonna stop this recording. I'm just gonna edit the two together because I can probably just put it at the corner. So let me just do that real quick. Alright, I actually have a better setup now, so I can show you guys the combos. So what we're gonna do is we are going to get a baby and a Diagram, and then 3 other random cards, just kind of set them here, and then, like, this is assuming you don't draw in any combo pieces, by the way, because, you know, that would suck. And so you're going to activate your Diagram, and you're going to use the Diagram, attempt to activate to pop the baby, and then you're going to use Diagram, since Lithosagym is gone, to add an Ignimazud. I should actually put the stuff over here so you guys can see it a bit better. And then baby will activate, since it was destroyed by card effects, since Diagram doesn't destroy for cost, I mean, almost anyone knows that. And you're going to summon a Still Leading Oviraptor. I'm sorry if you guys can hear my dogs. Also, I should probably make sure my dogs don't come over here, or else they're going to knock over my camera. Can you guys please stop playing in the dining room, you stupid dogs? Ghost, no, do not come over here. I am terribly sorry. So, Oviraptor is going to add another baby Ceratosaurus. It doesn't matter if you add a baby Ceratosaurus or a petite Pteranodon, but, you know, I'd prefer baby Ceratosaurus. And so, now, we're back to 5 cards in hand. Oviraptor is going to use the effect on baby after you normal summon it. You're going to target it, and then it destroys to summon, so you can either summon it back or summon the one that's already destroyed. And you're going to use the baby effect that you destroyed to summon a Miscellaneousaurus. And then you're going to use Miscellaneousaurus and baby as fodder for Ignimazud, because you're going to have to use Ignimazud's effect. It'll destroy these two. You're going to summon the Ignimazud. And you're going to use the baby effect. Again. Like I said, it's a baby abuse dot deck. And baby is going to summon your Jirac-Aeolo. Ghost, I would very much appreciate if you stayed away from my tripod. It's barely balancing as it is. On my legs it's not lower, so I have to, like, it doesn't lower all the way, so I have to balance it up on a chair. And then we're going to use these as synchro material, the Aeolo and the Oviraptor, to make Denglong 2.0. Ib. And then Ib's effect is going to activate. You're going to add World Legacy Monstrosity. And then you're going to use World Legacy Monstrosity, targeting Ignimazud. Now, that's going to let you summon, well, what you should summon Idly and Thunder King, the Lightning Strike Kaiju, but I'm summoning Deus Ex Crawler and Steel Storm Longhorn. Wherever he is, there he is. I'm keeping him towards the left side so that you guys can see it, like, better. And then, alright, so here is where you use one of the level 9s, it doesn't matter which one, to use Deus Ex Crawler and Ib to make Beat Cop or Lanfarinkus, depending on what you have. And then Ib's effect is going to activate Engrave. It lets you summon a World Chalice monster from your deck. So we're just going to do the Guard Dragon combo, because there's not much difference between the two combos other than what you summon, and then the fact that you use Miscellaneous Source to summon a different thing. And so you're going to summon the Guard Dragon if you're doing the Guard Dragon play. You're going to summon Chosen if you're doing the Nat Beast play. And then you're going to overlay these two into a Calamities, who will actually be at 33 because of diagrams, so it makes them even thicker in defense mode. And, alright, so here is where it would branch off. Like, if this were a Chosen, you would only use Miscellaneous Source to banish 2, but since that is a Guard Dragon, we're going to banish 4, and we're going to summon a Giant Rex. Now, if this were a Coelosaur off of Miscellaneous Source, you would have used Calamities to detach. That would make Chosen Earth, and then you could make a Nat Beast. But instead, since we're doing the Guard Dragon play, we're going to link away with the World Chalice Guard Dragon into, you probably guessed it, Elpie. And then, so now we're locked into dragons, because we have a Guard Dragon on the field. So we're going to use Landfrinkus and Giant Rex to make Triple Burst. And since Triple Burst points down, Elpie's effect can now activate. You can summon a World Legacy Guard Dragon Mardark from your deck, and link Triple Burst and Mardark into an Agarpain. And then Agarpain will activate. Like, not on summon, but like you can activate Agarpain's effect. That'll summon a Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. And then you're going to link your Elpie and your Agarpain over to make a Heavenly Spheres, and now you're no longer locked into dragons. And see, like, you're going to summon it to the other zone, by the way, so you have extra slots to point to. And what's great about this combo is that this is all made off of 2 cards, a diagram and a baby. So now we're going to reveal what we had in hand other than those. Alright, so this is actually really great. So if your opponent tried to stop you, you could have used Called By and gotten rid of like any Ash, Ogre, Veil, or whatever they're trying to use. And now we can use Fossil Dig to add either a baby for next turn, because we're going to use this to summon Tyranno or Coatlas, depending on what your matchup is. So now we're going to use Fossil Dig to add either baby or Miscellaneous Saurus, because Miscellaneous Saurus can make your stuff unaffected. But honestly, I actually think baby would be a better idea. There's the one baby left, because all the other ones are banished or engraved. So we're going to add a baby, because now we're going to use the pill. She's on the pill. So we're going to banish just a random non-DINO and Giant Rex. That'll summon you a Tyranno, or Coatlas, depending on what you want to do. We're going to use Tyranno, and then Giant Rex's effect. He'll be summoned, and he'll actually gain 800, so he'll be at 28, just in case you for some reason don't want to get rid of him. But mostly he's just going to be fodder for Tyranno, unless he's, depending on what you add. But since we have the baby in hand, the opponent's turn will go. It'll be their standby, or like right after they draw. You're going to use Calamities, Detach, declare whatever would be best against them. Like if they're playing Salamangreat, especially declare Fire, because not only can they not use stuff on the field, they can't use stuff in hand or engrave either. And then you're going to use Abyss to negate something. Tyranno will pop the baby, or the Giant Rex, depending on what you have. And then the baby, if you had that, will summon like an Oviraptor. And the Oviraptor can add either another Tyranno, Miscellaneous Saurus, whatever you want. Actually, I think I'm going to go for another Tyranno, because that can just make you go for the OTK. Like next turn at least. And then your opponent probably has all their stuff flip face down, but just in case, you can use Heavenly Spheres. Tribute, bounce something. It's your turn again, you get to draw. Oh look, an Upstart. You can give your opponent 1,000 life points, it's not like it's going to matter, because, you know, they're probably going to die this turn. And you can overlay these two, make a Logia, and then finally you can banish 2 dinosaurs from your graveyard, 2 babies in this case, to summon your Tyranno. And then you have a call by just in case they have something like, I don't fucking know, electromagnetic bag turtle. But, see, this board, oh yeah, you can put calamities in attack mode now too. Like, this board is actually really insane. And this was literally made mostly off of 2 cards, other than, like, the Tyranno and the Logia. And then, like, the called by you have engraved. But, you know, this is just really, really good. But, anyways, that's going to do it for the combos and everything. I really love this deck. Like, honestly, it's a lot of fun. Like I said, the combos are actually really satisfying to pull off when you do pull them off. And they're really hard to get over unless your opponent has a Sphere mode, but even still, they'll have to deal with Calamity's effect. And it's just, like, it's really hard for an opponent to get over everything you have if you can get it all off, because sometimes, I will admit, you brick and you draw into the wrong combo pieces, or you don't draw into enough combo pieces, and it can just be really hectic. But most of the time, it's just pure, kind of just really aggressive combo making. This deck can go first with building the negates, it can go second with like a Tyranno, or something else. And overall, it's a really solid choice for any like locals, regionals. I think it actually topped a national as well recently. Maybe the Italy one? Like the Italian nationals, if that was what it was. But yeah, that's going to do it for this deck profile, and without further ado, I will see you in the next one.